Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the first intermediate grade. Our textbook is Super Goal 2 and today we will cover unit What Do You Do? The first unit, listening and pronunciation. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazen Al-Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Saleh Al-Ujan. So let's begin. Our objectives in today's lesson, we hope that at the end of this lesson, you will be able to listen for specific information and also to differentiate between the Z and the S sound. So a quick revision on our last lesson. Last lesson, we have a grammar lesson and we did introduce to the differences between the sentences and the simple present tense and the present progressive tense. And we said that when we talk about simple present tense, we talk about the routines, the daily activities, the things that we do every day. Like, for example, I go to work every day. I teach English. My brother, he plays football every week. And my mother, she cooks dinner every night. So these are activities that we do every day. These are part of our routine. And as you notice that for the things that we do every day, the verb do not change at all. The verb do not change at all. It only changes when there is a third person. A person that is not me, the speaker, nor you, the listener. It's a third person. Like here, for example, my brother. When we talk about or when we use a third person as a subject, in this case we add S to the verb, whether he or she. As for the present progressive, we said that for present progressive we use ing for the things that are happening right now. For example, right now I am teaching English. Right now I am speaking to you. Right now, I am standing in front of the screen. So here, for the actions or the activities that are happening right now, we used ing as you can see here. So this is the difference between activities happens in the simple present tense and also happens in the present progressive tense. And also we had a table like this. We said when can we add an S to the verb and when can we not, and what changes exactly between those group of subjects. For example, we said the group of subjects like I, you, they, and we, when we use them in a simple present tense, we don't add anything to the verb. We say, for example, I work for an airline. You work for an airline. They work for an airline. So we don't make any changes to the verb. As for the subject, he and she, in this case, we add an S, the letter S to the verb. For example, we would say, he works for an airline. She works for an airline. So when we're using the subject or the third person subject, he or she, in this case, we use an S to the verb. Also another verb we have talked about, which is the verb have. When we want to say that we have, for example, I have three brothers, they have a father and mother, he has sisters. So when we're talking about the verb have, we can change it with he and she. But with those subjects, I, you, they, we use have as it is. But with he and she, we change have, we make it into has. So the sentence will be, he has a job. She has a job. So this is the form that we would use for the verb have, and if we use the subject he and she. And we also have been introduced to a couple of questions about what do you do? And we said that what do you mean by this question, what do you do, is not what are you doing right now? But we mean by this, what is your job? What is it your job? So for example, what do you do? When if I ask you, what do you do? You would answer using the verb to be, I am a teacher. I am a teacher. And this, the other form of this question What does he do? He is a teacher. He is a teacher. The other form is, we can use it with other subjects like this one. What do they do? What do they do? They are teachers. They are teachers. And the last one, what does she do? She is a teacher. So as you can see here, we use this question, what do you do? Which means, what is it your job? With different subjects. We use it with you, with he, with they, and with she. So we have learned the difference between what do you do and what are you doing right now at this moment. And we said it's the same form whether we use do or does. We start with the question word, which is what in this case, and also we use either do or does, depends on the subject. And after this comes the subject, and after this the main verb. So this is the same form for all different subjects, whether it's you, he, they, or she. Now, on page 5, today we have an interesting listening exercise. So you will see a table like this. We're going to listen to 4 different people talking about something. And what we need to do is we'll try to listen to what kind of job or what do they do exactly, what each one of these people is doing, and also what is it or where is their place of work. So we're going to listen, and it's not necessarily that we listen or they will say straight what is it that they do, but we can, from using some keywords, we can know what exactly each one of them what each one of them does, and also we can elicit and we can listen to their place of work. So each one of them will speak and we will listen, trying to understand using the keywords, trying to know what is it exactly, what each one of them what is the job of each one of them, and also where do they work. So each text or each person, we're going to listen to him twice. The first one, you only listen for listening, and the second one, you listen and try to elicit some information to write down your answer. So the people we're going to listen to is Umar, and the second one is Lee, the third one is David, and the fourth one is Robert. So let's listen to each person talk about his job, and we will complete this chart. So the first one now is Umar. We're going to listen to what Umar has to say about his job for the first time, and then we're going to listen for the second time using some and looking for some keywords to know what exactly does Umar do. So let's listen.
It's very hot in the kitchen, but we're very busy and I don't notice it. I prepare meals for customers. The restaurant is excellent. I work all week, except Fridays. The restaurant is closed on Fridays. I work a lot, but I love my job. I like to cook.
Now, we have listened for the first time for Umar. Now we're going to listen for the second time. And remember, Umar may not say what exactly his job is, may not say where does he work, but you can know this by listening to some keywords in his speech. So let's listen one more time.
It's very hot in the kitchen, but we're very busy and I don't notice it. I prepare meals for customers. The restaurant is excellent. I work all week, except Fridays. The restaurant is closed on Fridays. I work a lot, but I love my job. I like to cook.
Very good. Now we have listened for the second time to Umar, and during his speaking, he used some keywords. Like, for example, he said that he works in a kitchen, and also he prepares meals for customers, and also he likes to cook. So, what do you think Umar does? From these keywords, we can know or we can tell what does Umar do. So, as you guess, his job is very good. His job, he is a chef. And where does the chef work? he works in a restaurant. He works in a restaurant. So as what we did with Umar, we will do it with the other three people. We're going to listen, and using some keywords, we're going to write down where does each one of them work and what does each one of them do. So the second person we have here is Lee. Let's listen now to Lee.
I work at the store every day. I check all the products, put price tags on them, and make sure everything is in the right place. The customers ask for me when I am not here. They say I'm very good. I like selling things. It is fun, and I meet lots of people.
Very good. Now we have listened to Lee. Let's listen to him for the second time. And remember again, this time try to listen to specific information so you can tell what is it his job and also where does he work.
I work at the store every day. I check all the products, put price tags on them, and make sure everything is in the right place. The customers ask for me when I am not here. They say I'm very good. I like selling things. It is fun, and I meet lots of people.
Very good. Now we have listened to Lee, and Lee has said some information that may help us to know what is it his job and where does he work. Those informations like the store, he said, I work in a store, and also he said, I check all the products. He checked all the products that comes to the store, and also he said, I like to sell things. So from this information, obviously, Lee works in a store, and also he sell things. He not buying, he sell things. He check products. He said, I put a price tag on them to say, for example, how much this product cost and how much this product costs. So obviously, Lee here works in a store and also selling things. So what do we call the job where a person sells things? We call this job a salesperson. A salesperson. And where does a salesperson work? He works in a store. He works in a store. So there you go. Here we have answered the second one, Lee. Now let's listen. Let's listen to David, and as we did with Umar and Lee, we're going to listen twice. The first time, we listen only for listening, and the second time we listen looking for specific information to write down our answers. So let's begin.
My job starts early in the morning. I have to be at school before the children come and leave after they go home. In the evening I check homework and prepare for the next day. Many people don't understand why I work so long every day. But I really like my job, and I want to be prepared with new ideas and activities for my students.
Very good. Now let's listen for the second time for David.
My job starts early in the morning. I have to be at school before the children come and leave after they go home. In the evening I check homework and prepare for the next day. Many people don't understand why I work so long every day. But I really like my job, and I want to be prepared with new ideas and activities for my students.
Very good. Now we have listened to David's, and I'm very sure that you have elicited some information about David's job and his place of work. So some of the information we have listened to are, he has to be at school very early in the morning, as he said, and he needs to prepare ideas and activities for his students. And he said, my job started early. So what kind of job where a person need to be early at school, and in the evening he should prepare ideas and activities and homework for his students? I think this one is very easy, since the job that relates to the student is very good. He is a teacher, and where does a teacher works usually? He works in a school. Very good. He works in a school. Now, here we have left with only one person, Robert. So let's listen to Robert here, and then we'll try to elicit some information.
I work with people all the time. Sometimes, I don't go home at all when it's very busy. My friends don't understand why I enjoy my job. They don't know how it feels to help a sick or injured person. It is not easy to be in the hospital for 24 hours or more without a break, but it's part of the job.
Very good. Now let's listen one more time to Robert's and then try to listen to some information of what Robert has to say, and then we will answer together.
I work with people all the time. Sometimes, I don't go home at all when it's very busy. My friends don't understand why I enjoy my job. They don't know how it feels to help a sick or injured person. It is not easy to be in the hospital for 24 hours or more without a break, but it's part of the job.
Very good. Now, and I'm very sure that you already know the answer, Robert has said some important keywords for us to know where does he work. For example, some of the keywords are he works with people all the time, and also he helps a sick or injured person, and also he should be in a hospital for 24 hours a day. So what kind of job where a person has to be at the hospital for 24 hours a day and also has to help injured or sick people? What do you think Robert's job is? Very good. Yes, he is a doctor. He helps sick people. And where does a doctor work? He works in a hospital. So here you go. Very good effort, everyone. Here we go. We have answered this listening chart. We have listened to Umar. Umar is a chef and he works in a restaurant. And Lee is a salesperson and he works in a store. And David is a teacher and he works in a school. And Robert is a doctor and he works in a hospital. And now we have answered this interesting exercise. Now, the second part we have for today is pronunciation. Now we're going to listen to different words and try to differentiate between two sounds. First, have a look at this word. How do we pronounce this word? This word, we pronounce it like rights, rights. And the other word is cells, cells. Did you notice any difference between these two words? Rights, cells, rights, cells. You notice that at the end of each word here, I have stressed the sound s, rights, rights. But with the other word, I have stressed the last sound, which is z, cells, cells. So it's similar like these two words. For the first one, you remember the word bus, bus. You see what is the sound I'm making? Bus. And for the second one, try to remember the sound that bees usually makes, which is buzz, buzz. So here we have two different sounds, and each one of them is written as the same. So if you notice, here the letter is S, and here also the letter is S. But in pronunciation, it differs. Some of the words, sometimes we pronounce it as sa, rights, and sometimes we pronounce it as za, like cells. And now I'm going to show you a couple of examples about these verbs or about these sounds. So here you have a table, and this table is in two categories. The first one, the sa sounds, and the second one, the za sounds, okay? So we're going to listen to the endings of the following verbs and try to practice together how do we pronounce each one of them. So the first one, or the first sentence, I'm going to pronounce it, and you guess where we should put this verb. Should we put it in the sa column or in the za column? So the first one, Mr. Ben writes for a magazine. Mr. Ben writes for a magazine. So here the word is writes, writes. So, what the endings of this verb, where should we put it? Should we put it with sa or with za? Very good. Here we put it with the S sound, the sa sound. Let's listen to the second one. John sells cameras in a store. John sells cameras in a store. And where do you think we should put this verb? Very good. This goes straight to the za sound. Let's listen to the third one. My father drives a bus. My father drives a bus. So where should we put this verb, with the S or with the za sound? Very good. Drives goes straight to the za sound. Let's listen to the fourth one. Mr. Chang works in a bank. Mr. Chang works in a bank. Works. So where do you think we should put this one? Very good. This one goes straight to the sa sound. Let's listen to the other one. My brother plays volleyball. My brother plays volleyball. Plays. So where do you think we should put plays? Very good. It goes straight to the za sound. And the last one, Pierre cooks in a restaurant. Pierre cooks in a restaurant. Cooks. Where should we put this verb? Very good. This goes straight to the S sound. So it's very important that we know the difference. Sometimes the word is written with an S letter, but with the pronunciation it differs from a verb to another. And it's good to practice it from time to time to know the differences. Now, before we finish, don't forget to check on your workbook, pages 90 and 91, for more practice with the simple present tense. And now, we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.